My name is Catherine Sullivan, and I am a former staff member at NCOF. I'm one of the former assistant directors of education, and since working at Natick, I've actually stayed in farming, and today am the farm manager at a 200-year-old family-owned saltwater farm on the coast of Maine. One of my favorite memories is the tradition of sharing kid quotes at the end of our staff meetings. I thought that was such a lovely way to focus on our mission, and given these quotes are out of the mouths of babes, as they say, often provided some great comic relief. One of the kid quotes I remember most was one I witnessed, so that's probably why I remember it. I was walking back to the farmhouse with one of the forest gnomes, leaving the forest. She really wanted to hold my hand that day, so I let her hold my hand, and she looked up and she said, "What were you when you were little? What were you when you were little?" And I looked down at her and gave it a beat, and I smiled and I said, "I was a kid like you." And little gnome, she's probably four years old, maybe five. Kind of, you see her putting that together. Okay, this person used to be a kid. What's up with that? And then I will never forget it. She looked over again, and then she said, "And then you wished you were a farmer and your dream came true." Just these big eyes. Oh, it really it it does it doesn't get much better than that. One of the challenges I remember talking about really regularly at the leadership level was this conversation about program fees and accessibility. How to make our fee-based programs support farm operations, which is an important job of those programs, while also being accessible to as many children and families as possible. Of course, this is a just perennial challenge for nonprofits, I would say, especially in this youth development, youth program space, where there are so many players, locally, regionally, with lots of different offerings and focus. Of course, some nonprofits, some more commercial. So one of the things I remember as well was being so touched by the number of people, families who donated money, donated amazing outdoor gear that their children had grown out, or they were moving and left that gear with us. But I think, or I reflect with great appreciation on these families who made donations of money and goods to support other families. Several times over our summer programs, I remember getting a late cancellation from families. They had an opportunity to go somewhere else for the week, or their plans changed. And gosh, it felt like frequently, Nikki, the person calling would say they want to leave the money with the farm, to either as a donation or more often to support another child, or children, depending on how we were able to subsidize other students attending later in the season. And what a testament, of course, to the family's faith in the organization, their enjoyment of it, wanting another kid to have that experience. So I will say too, since leaving the farm, I've been so touched to see and hear about grants, donations, fundraising for those scholarship programs too. Professionally speaking, Nikki, working at the Natick farm really set the stage for the next phase of my career, the one that I'm in now. I came to the Natick farm from the business world, having spent that first part of my career in consulting and startups, but I'd also spent a few years volunteering on a diversified farm that did both a meat and veggie CSA. I was so excited to come work at the Natick farm after that volunteering experience, because the really like rational side of my brain was like, hold on, whoa, 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 before you make this radical change, let's make sure this is something you want to continue pursuing. So I suspected I would love it, and of course I did. But that opportunity working at Natick in my kind of, as I think about the story of my career, helped me bridge that early career corporate experience with what I'm doing now. I'm now, as you know, a few years out from working at NCOF, and I've been working on organic farms since, in both production and education roles. And I mean, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have believed that this was possible. So I remain really grateful for the opportunity and experience at the Natick farm. It's impossible to pick one thing, but something I always told people about the Natick farm, and I still tell people about the Natick farm, is that it is free and open to the public. I think for anyone who knows the farm, that's really easy to take for granted. Oh yeah, it's a nice day, or I'm kind of driving by, I want to go see the animals, see what's on the market stand. Of course I can just show up and go walk around. But I think if you are new to the farm or just discovering it, that's really incredibly special. I mean, at least here in Eastern Massachusetts, in today's world, I think there's a lack of like truly free public spaces where people can go and get outside, and there's no expectation that you'll need to spend money to even like enter or get access to that place, or there'll be kind of that pressure or expectation that you'll spend money in some way while you're there. I mean, please support the Natick farm, go to the farm stand, buy tickets or events, all of that. But all jokes aside, the property, both the farm side and the more wooded side, they are free to the public, and that's it's something we don't see as often these days. I mean, it's really, really a treasure. So the fact not only that the farm provides that free access to nature, that the property is both beautiful and educational as well. I mean, that's just really icing on the cake. Anybody can come visit, walk around, see farmers working, see food crops being grown, see animals out on pasture, foraging, doing their thing, animals that are raised that will become food for people, and seeing that farming on a human scale. There's nothing like it. If you love being outside, love seeing animals, are curious about where your food comes from, curious about what it's like to be a farmer, that accessing the Natick farm in this free and open way can hopefully turn a day around, getting outside, enjoying the fresh air, some sun, going to see some animals, maybe admiring the sunflowers as you walk by, or might even change the course of your life. We've had people who become future members, donors, volunteers, summer program students who've just walked onto the farm, engaged with one of the teens or the staff or another volunteer, and have been kind of brought in a deeper way into the community by physically being there and jumping out of the car. And it's that's just really special and unique. Oh gosh. Once again, I mean, it's um, hard to come up with just one thing or the thing, but something I would love to see continue happening on the farm is all of this intergenerational work, and pardon the pun, but cross pollination that happens. Having volunteers of different ages, members of different ages, families, residents, people with children, people without, out of state grandparents, other family members who are also farm members to support, the work that we're doing, that they hear from their grandchildren about. So I'd love, that's one of my biggest wishes for the farm, is to continue that intergenerational opportunity and access. I mean, I think it really enriches. It sounds so trite, but it is true. I believe it enriches our lives to have friends of different ages. And of course, when you're a little forced gnome, your interaction or relationship with, a senior who's volunteering at the Natick farm, that obviously looks different than, that same senior who might be really skilled at woodworking, who's mentoring one of the teens. I mean, that's, once again, as I spoke about a little bit earlier, I feel like those places just aren't as common anymore. And something else I always told people about the Natick farm is, chances are you walk on the farm and ask a couple questions, you'll find you have something in common with other people there. There's something most of the time that's, something you want to learn that maybe someone else can answer. So would love to see those connections, be able to continue in an organic way.